All right,
All
gentlemen.
right. Yes.
We are live, all the way live. Everybody, welcome to Triple Option. This is our second episode of Triple Option. We have a two-part series today, and we have a lot to cover today. We have week one is off and running, and there's a lot of developments there. Some things are status quo, but we'll talk about it. We got a lot to cover today. Um, so we're gonna get right up into this one in just a minute. But before we do, as you can see, there's Zack from the Sports Brothers,
Yes. Hello, everyone.
and up in the top right hand corner is the one and only Coy. What's up, Coy?
What's up? Corey the Hills from Diamond Woods. Enough
D
said.
Wood in the house.
I
All right,
guess
gentlemen.
am I supposed to sound from Wood Green then? I didn't know we were getting that detail.
I'm from Diamond Woods, Georgia, sir.
I'm D Wood. All right. Wood Green, D Wood. All right. We're gonna lay the wood today. All right, here we go. Triple option.
All right. All right. Good
Man,
intro music.
if that don't get you fired up, I don't know what will. All right, music was brought to you by Jones Music Company, LLC. We thank Keaton, aka Terrence Jones, for providing the music, the intro.
Thank you, Keaton. We appreciate it.
All right. All right, man. Let's do it, fellas. The topic number one for today, let's talk about the news out there in the college landscape about the playoff format, the new playoff format, and get everybody's thoughts on that. So it appears that it has been the board of managers that approved a 12-team college football playoff. That's CFP for those who are more advanced than I am. College football playoffs, and it was a unanimous vote. So that means it's about to go down. So we're looking at in the near future here, 12 teams. So, Corey, you want to kick us off with that and your thoughts?
I am trying to figure out how they're gonna fit those extra games in when they start. They're adding what, 3 more games, basically.
Yeah. I think what they
No,
do
it's
is
four. It's 4 games. Well, it's gonna be.
it should only be one extra week. I think what they do is after the after the SEC championship, they'll take like a week, and then all those teams 5 through 8 get home games at their stadium. So it'll be kind of right before like when they would do the normal CFP.
And then so 1 through 4 gets a bye.
Yep.
That's some BS.
Why do you think that?
Because if you're gonna have a playoff, everybody line it up. Why not go? See, my thing when I saw the 12, I was like, why not just go to 16? If you're gonna do it, put 16 teams in there, set it up 3 weeks, 4 weeks, I think it'll be, and finish it out. Have the 4 games. If you're gonna have a tournament, why have a partial tournament? Because what happens is this football. You give the buys, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And we're saying if you're gonna you either go you don't I don't believe in you either go 8 or you go 16, 12, and you know what I'm saying?
Wait.
Because
Well,
because
you
you should
already
have
know why, Calvin.
one. Because
Like
well,
what?
I kind of know why. The reason
It,
why is
it's money.
they don't want their goal. Well, if you go 16, you get more. Technically, the
It,
extra game
it
be more money,
they
but they
do.
don't. They're afraid that what'll happen is they go 16, and for some reason, uh, let's say Utah happens, or no, better yet, a TCU happens, and it's disrupt the apple cart.
Maybe, but I think what it might be, they selling like they sold us the 2 game with the BCS, then they went to 4 to get more money. Now you going to 12 so that you get a feel for how this goes. And if people really get into it, kind of like the NFL, now when you go 16, and I don't know how much they're going to get for this, but maybe you double what you can get or something, or you get whatever you get plus half. That's all I can think of as far as they just doing it to um, get an opportunity to get more money, and maybe they sell the games to different what's his faces, just
Did they
trying to
give
maximize.
did they give any estimated financials on what is gonna what the whole deal is gonna be?
No, but I've kind of heard that Oklahoma and Texas might be in the SEC sooner. So when you start
Yeah,
hearing stuff like that, the
or
financials must be pretty good for the Big 12 for
you
them
said
to kind of agree. Like maybe there's some going back door that you let these teams get out. You'll be able to be a part of this because they're making it the 6 highest automatic qualifiers, which I kind of think is BS because for the 4 of them get seeded 1 through 4. So last year, Georgia would have been a number 5 seed, whereas Michigan would have been a number 2 seed, and we saw Georgia curb stop Michigan. So
I mean,
that's the issue I have with it.
see now, Zach, that goes into the fact that if when you lose, it's just like any other playoffs. Well, correction, college football is always going to be when you lose. You follow me?
Yep.
Because of the general nature of it, the fact that the way it works, because it's not a true ranking system, it's a polling system, is what we believe to be the best because the pool of teams are so large. So that's kind of going to be what it's going to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it I could the I want them to fix the conference championship thing. Like instead
What
of
I
like the
why
automatic qualifier, I get that, but then when you rank them, just rank them based on if you're going eye test, resume, or whatever. Like you should be. They don't do that in the NCAA basketball tournament. Like you can be
we call it the Power Five, right?
yeah.
Well, what I would say is narrow it down, those six guarantees. Power Five champion
Well, they
plus
had to have
one.
the automatic qualifier. Like somebody that's
That's
a
what I'm saying.
non-power
Those be the
five.
automatic. Your automatic be the Power Five champions plus one at large. What I'm basically saying is, if you win your conference, quote unquote,
Right.
in the biggest conferences, give that team a bonus for doing that.
And I'd
Right?
argue why. Like, who cares if you win the Big 12? Or who cares if you win the, like, even say Pac 12 now? Like, once they get rid of UCLA and you, like, just because you went, what's the difference between those conferences once we get realignment versus
Versus
what
okay,
Cincinnati's in or whoever's in?
versus six at large bids behind what route? You just said it wouldn't work right last year, right?
Nope. I just want you to rank them accordingly. Like, you can have 2 teams from the same
They did.
conference
Wait,
as
whoa,
we
whoa, whoa, whoa,
prove,
whoa, whoa.
and they'd be the best
Georgia
team.
was the number 5 team, technically, right?
Well, they would be number 5. They would have ended up 5 in this system. I think last year they were 3, and
Mm,
that's because they made Michigan the conference champ. But
right.
I think you get what I'm saying. That just because you win your conference, it depends on what conference you win. Now I would give the Big Ten credit, but like winning, as I said, winning the Big 12 ain't like winning the SEC. And I'm gonna even go this as we get into it deeper, start doing breakdowns of the team. Winning the SEC East for Georgia ain't like winning the SEC West for Alabama. Like it's 2 different routes you're going as far as the difficulty of your schedule. But I
Mm-hmm.
mean, this is the negotiations they had to make to get people to buy in that you doing the six plus you're gonna give the highest non-qualify or the highest non-power five a automatic qualifier, and then you got six at large.
Okay,
So
six at
I think
large,
last year
but
SEC would have got three
it
in,
gets.
and then Big Ten would have got three in. So I guess that's okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think that it's going to continue to grow. Corey, I know you mentioned that you want to see it at 16, and eventually it will get to that number. I mean, I remember you guys remember this. You remember back in the day when I think it was Colorado, when the Colorado and Georgia Tech, and they split.
They
Right.
did.
Yeah, the U.S. USA Today poll and all that stuff, and he had split champions, and it was talking about how it's not settled on the field, and so eventually we got into to the bowl championship series and all that stuff. So it's
Mm-hmm.
going to continue to expand. I mean, look, to a lesser degree, kind of like NCAA basketball. You got
Mm-hmm.
playing, you got the round of the first four in and all that kind of stuff. Now you're up to
Yeah.
68 teams. I mean, just about
Yeah,
everybody
but
get in, and they're just going to expand the same. They're going to expand it
well,
to the
the
similar degree,
difference.
but they're
Well,
going
I would say,
to expand though to a similar degree for football.
yeah, but I mean, the difference with the football is you get those tournaments that in the NCAA they were already there. They
Yeah,
just expanded. They just expanded. How can I say? They expanded the playing games was one night, right? So you play your conference,
yeah,
you come out, you play in. Well, you got the conference championships, SEC championship, Big 12 for as long as we know. That's going to change with the number of teams. But that extra week is going to is also a revenue week for those conferences. So how are you gonna if you start when you expand this so what are we gonna do? Basically have them playing head to head during the holiday, Thanksgiving and everything else. Then because usually there's that dead week, right? That dead little pause before the actually BCS and all the other going on. So they're gonna have those, or that's where they're gonna slot. My thing is, I'm trying to see how they're gonna slot those games in, and actually keep these conference presidents and that in
but
place because those
but
conferences are not gonna give up that revenue.
But even if you go 16, you can still have you still have your championship game. And like I said, 16, you got the 8 teams playing. As I said, you just give them a week, and all the teams, what 9 through 16, will be on campus at um whoever. And then you just I guess you make them go another week, and they're playing against both. Like kids already missed Thanksgiving kind of sort anyway. I don't think they care. Uh kids miss Christmas with their families. If I'm being real, that'll just be another adjustment they'll make for the money. And the only concession I can see it do is maybe they'll do something that if you're on these teams and you're a football player on these teams, you get some type of stipend or whatever for missing or the holidays or the extra time that you have to spend doing it. But yeah, because they even with this, I think they have wrote in there too that if you get to choose if you're the host team, if you want to host the team on, I mean, I'm sorry, host the game on campus, or like say Georgia, they could host it at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, or if you're in the Big Ten, wherever it is in Indianapolis where they play their games, or I guess if you're Michigan, instead of playing it on campus due to weather, I don't know why Michigan wouldn't. You can go play it at the Lions Field or something like that.
Mm, mm,
yeah.
So they're putting that option in there, I guess, because to take the inclement
nah,
weather in
nah.
consideration.
Play. If you're gonna give the teams the home field advantage, let them play at their home stadiums.
Well, the team gets the option of it if they want to do it or don't do
Remove that. Remove that option. Your stadium sucks. You need to do better.
it.
everybody,
well,
everybody need to build dome stadiums.
well, they go try to
If you
maximize that
well,
money.
um, Well, they trying to maximize. It's not even about build. They want to bid the option because different. And remember one of the gripes on the Super Bowl in Atlanta was the last time before the last one they had here, the snow, the ice, the
Yeah,
inclement weather, right?
yeah.
They want the option to move the sites so that they can make it more revenue um comfortable
Yep.
versus no,
What's it?
this is what it versus
But it-
this is the elements, this is our team, and this is our environment at play. They're gonna say, well, they don't give a damn about for the players. They're gonna say, well, it's icy and it's snowy and not this many people's gonna show up. So let's move it to a dome. For instance, let's move it to Indianapolis because they have a crosswalk downtown. You can walk, everything's covered. You can move from location to location, but no, they ain't got nothing to do with the game. Play the damn games at the home stadiums. I mean, it's about the tradition, it's about the feel, because the people that's going to these games or the people that's traveling to these games, if I'm going, if you see it, if USC's there, I want to go to the Rose Bowl. I'm not trying to go somewhere else. Just like if Notre Dame's there, I want to see touchdown Jesus. You see what I'm saying? Michigan, I want to go to these stadiums are just as much as part of the tradition of the game as everything else.
well, as
Well,
long as the team decides to play there, that should still stay in, stay in play.
That's why I say remove that option. Don't give the team an option. If your stadium sucks, do better.
well, I'm sure. I'm sure the reason why that came up is one of them ads or presidents or whatever, when they were in there doing all this negotiate. These are things they were talking about because, like you said,
It's
they trying to make
financial
sure they maximize their revenue.
financials, yeah.
Yeah, definitely that too. But imagine
So
the team. But imagine the team like UGA, and they have to go on the road and play at Michigan. December 30th or something like that.
win more games, UGA. It's your fault that you go in the mission. Nobody faults but yours.
No, I'm saying that would make it exciting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
that's what I'm saying. That would make it. That's what it make it say. Okay, I thought you were saying like,
Oh, this. I
oh,
mean,
now
this is
they
going to be good.
yeah,
Like that's it because you're going to get in them scenario. At some point, it's going to be a team from the south that is going to have to go up north and play
yeah,
in some inclement weather
hmm
because it's just going to work that way.
yeah. And then you may have a team from the north, and they have to go play in, let's just say, Miami, and it's muggy. And they're used to playing in some colder, cooler, less humid weather. You know what I mean? So yeah, it would be interesting to see all those different matchups. And
mm,
looks like that's
teams
where we
from
head.
yeah teams from up north going down south. It ain't really so much. They can deal with that. It's more or less they got to deal with the fact that their teams are built for their environments.
I'd agree.
Yeah, that plays a part as well.
Because I think of all the craziness I have. Let's say you're Purdue, right?
Yes.
Okay,
And let's say you
good choice.
have a Miami. You Miami wins ACC, Purdue wins the Big Ten, right? No, Miami becomes at
ACC.
large, huh?
You said ACC, right?
Yeah, Miami becomes at large, not because I conference champions and pretty much are gonna always have that argument that they should get one at large. Purdue sides, we bringing Miami in here. Miami's a faster, quicker team than we are. You know what, guys? Let's put the long cleats on and let's grow some grass. That's part of the game. That's part of the game.
Agreed.
I mean, people whine and cry about that stuff, but now you got these neutral sites, and oh no, we're gonna go take it to what the hell is a big? What is big near Purdue?
Purdue is in
Is
Indiana.
yeah. So they
Yeah,
probably
okay,
they'd either play
Indianapolis.
their home field or Indianapolis.
Yeah,
Yeah, versus the powers that be, because even though the team has the choice, there's always you got outside influences that makes the team have the choice. Whether it's going to be the conference presidents, whether it's going to be all these other people that gets into the quote quote team and forces them to move somewhere else because they say, well, there's going to be somebody like we don't stand a chance. Not the
yeah,
team. But someone on the outside says, but we can have this game here and it can be a bigger deal and it's all about the revenue versus it being the game.
Yes, because you got to think about this too, like a Purdue. I don't know how many they seat, but I'm sure they don't seat as many as Tennessee.
Right.
So
Or the
I'm
SEC or
certain.
traditionally. Or the
Yes,
big house
so,
or Ohio
yes.
State. Yeah.
So stuff like that will probably go to like, hey, I know y'all want to play in y'all 30,000 seat stadium, but if we move this to Indianapolis, then I don't know, let's say 60, 70,000, if they have that many for them, we can get more butts in the seats. You can get more of your fans, and we can, as you said, make more money. So the Southern teams probably won't have to worry about that. Michigan and Ohio State probably won't make those decisions. That'll be, like you said, somebody like a Purdue or Minnesota, if they were to make it, that they gonna want to move it to bigger places just to
Hmm.
pack more people in.
All right. Well, here's a look at what the tournament would have looked like in 2021 that you can see right there. You would
The only problem with that, Mister 4-1, is Georgia wouldn't be three. Georgia would get booted out, and whoever else is another conference champion, they would go. They would like Georgia would be the 5 seed because they lost to Alabama in the SEC championship, and I can't. But say like Baylor would be like the 3 or the 4, and Cincinnati would have moved up.
but what about Notre Dame?
Notre Dame can never be a 4 seed, top 4 seed, because they can't win a conference championship. So they always have, and they can never. Well, I can't say they can get a home game. They just can't be. They can't get a bye, which is wrote in there because they won't win a conference.
Okay, well let's just flip flop Georgia for this conversation and put Baylor up there, and you would have 4 teams with a bye, Calvin, and you would have the other teams playing out probably on the campus, and then go from there. But just just having a visual of this is pretty interesting, and to see how see how it may play out in the future. But we'll find out sooner than later.
And
Now
and
you
while
now
I
and we're looking now notice we're looking at 2021. Um I'm just looking at the teams and seeing who I would have not had in there if we just went pure by teams and talent.
I'm trying to remember Cincinnati where they were last year.
well 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 here
Oh
goes a
yeah,
better
okay, they got them at 4. They
here
would have
goes a
been.
better question. Uh, Outside of the top 4, if you want to go top 6, tell me anybody you think that is ranked outside of that they could win the national championship.
Out of the top
Because
six.
because that's gonna be the thing about expand. Like I know you said occasionally you're gonna get them upsets, but
Yeah, but you're right. You're absolutely right.
is it gonna be legitimate? Like can a 8 seed or whatever actually go into Tuscaloosa and beat Alabama when they get like Mr.
Mm,
4-1's favorite team back today, Boise? Would Boise actually really be able to do that, or whoever, or is that just gonna be
boys, get your ass on that blue field.
Hey, I watched Boise lose last night. By the way, Zach, and so they're falling off quickly. But um, but at the end of the day, what you just say about that matchup right there, the bottom
Well,
line would be that Boise cannot say that they didn't have a chance. You know what I mean?
oh
Central Florida cannot say and shout to the hills that they didn't have a chance. The opportunity is there. The likelihood is very slim, especially when you have to play at a Alabama or at a UGA, or even at Ohio State in the first round or something like that. But the opportunity is there. And at the end of the day, that program will be able to say, "Hey, we made it to the playoff or whatever it's called."
oh yeah, more coaches gonna get fired now. Like more coaches will get fired because of the 12-team playoff.
Yeah,
Because especially if
exactly.
you non-power five,
yeah,
because you should be able to, like, you can't use the excuse like you were saying of you didn't have a chance. Like
yeah,
now, and then if you go there and you get curb stomped, that may go into your evaluation too, depending on who you lose to.
yeah, absolutely.
I'm gonna tell you now. Those 5 and 12s and those 6 and 11 games. Those are gonna be some ugly games.
Depending who gets in, but it will give some if some coaches can figure a way to get there, it's gonna get you a long-term contract, or it's gonna be who was the guy?
No, you're
And I'm gonna
those
say it
no.
wrong.
If you can figure a way to get there, it's gonna get you an upgrade. Cause that's
Yeah,
all it is.
like
It's
who was
gonna
that
it's gonna
guy in the NCAA tournament, Mr. 401, that beat Kentucky, and now he's at Seton Hall. He was at
Oh, the Peacocks.
yeah, something like that. It'll be like that. Like if a UTEP for whatever reason is able to make it to the CFP,
Yeah,
and heaven forbid they win a game, then now you go see a guy go from UTEP to maybe he gets a Florida State job or something.
yeah, yeah.
get a
One of
power
those
five job.
moments.
Get a power five job.
All right. Okay, guys. Any closing comments before we go to a quick break?
Yes, whenever that thing starts, as long as Saban is still in place, I'm gonna say Georgia and Alabama won't miss the playoff for the first 5 years of that tournament. Easily, they'll both be in.
I'm gonna say that it's not gonna be as much of a status quo as we think it is. I'm saying it's gonna actually change the shift because usually every time the quote unquote prize change, it just always seems it mirrors of the beginning of the end of an era and the beginning of the next rise of the college football um, dynasty. Now, who it's going to be, I don't know. Could it be Georgia taking that
Oh,
reign, or could it be going out the West Coast move like when the BCS hit USC, it went west, right?
true.
Before that, it was down south, Miami, Florida State. After the BCS died and we moved to the college football playoff program, that was the Alabama dynasty. It is, can we all agree this is the Alabama era, right?
Correct.
Yeah,
That'd be safe to say.
Yes,
yeah. So
just a
I'm just
little bit.
it all with every major change. It seems like it usher in a new generation of the next era.
Well, let's hope it's Georgia's time.
Could be, who knows?
All right. All right, guys. On the other side of this break, we'll talk about a team that Coy is very familiar with. Hey, V.
All right.
All right. We back. Is there? We thank PT with Grit and check out E Butts Junior Boxing Academy. Gloves, not guns. Event coming up September 18th. All right, Coy. Let's talk about your squad, the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Okay.
What was your first impressions of that game?
We have a football team. We have 5 stars, and 5 stars against fours and twos. I mean, twos and threes don't work. We play football better than Utah. I mean, what do you want me to say? I mean, there's not much I can say. We blocked, we tackled, we threw, we ran. We pretty much did any damn thing we wanted to do. What else is there to say about that? These first weeks are like, I'm not gonna be that dude that gives these supreme. Oh, we look weak at this. We could look weak. You're not. We'll know when we actually play up against a peer in far as competition of talent. I mean, we're gonna hear the Herb Streets, we're gonna hear the Corsos, and all these other people, and all these Desmond Howards, all these experts try to analyze when you know damn well you got a bunch of 5 stars versus a bunch of 1 stars, and the 5 star got a good ass coach. What else is gonna happen? But what happened? Hang 55 on what we're gonna say? Well, y'all should have put 70.
Yes.
I mean,
You underachieved yesterday.
yes,
Nah,
yes, that's the best.
nah,
You
he
can
he
say that.
called the dogs off because it was
Yeah.
55-0 start of fourth quarter.
Exactly.
He
What
called the
else
dogs
can you
off.
say? Only thing you can say is you start debating whether or not am I finna give up some red shirts. That's those. That's what those games do.
Yeah. So it's basically a preseason game for
Yeah.
Alabama, and
Yeah.
just a
Utah,
glorified
Utah,
practice.
and Utah got to tell people like, yes, kids, you can come out, you come to Utah because we play the likes of Alabama. There you
Hmm.
go. All right, that's all. That's what it was.
Yeah.
It's not so much a money game; it's more of a recruiting game. We play Alabama every year. Why you play Alabama every year should be what the child asks. But hey, they can go up there and get that too.
Yeah. I mean, was there anything that you saw from a player that maybe, um, like that someone need to pay attention to?
Yes,
Please.
Bryce Young should still be the number one contender for the high. Like it shouldn't be. Everybody else can say all these 5 touchdowns, 100 yards rushing touchdown. Uh, don't know what he's going to be in the pros. Young man is outstanding at the college level, and
This
Hmm.
is not what he's not playing. Just figure out what he's gonna be in the pro. That's the other part with people. They go, "Well, he's not a pro. This. Well, he sure ain't got to be a pro. This. He's
that
a
is
college
correct.
quarterback. This is what he's good at.
Right. Well, he kind of fits. I mean, if Jalen Hurts and Kyler Murray, they're able to get in and play almost immediately in the NFL. I mean, he has a shot.
Kyler Murray and Jalen Hurts, just
Yeah.
them two alone, are totally two different comparisons.
Well, they're similar kind of size and all that kind of stuff. So, like, that.
Mm,
And if you go
Kyler
back and
Hurts,
if you go back some
Kyler Hurts. No,
years,
no, no. We're not gonna do it, TJ.
yes,
Kyler
we are.
Hurts
We're gonna do
and
it.
no, we Kyler Murray
We're
and
gonna do it.
Jalen. Hold on, let me finish this. Say Kyler Murray and Jalen Hurts
Yeah.
are not dissimilar in size. Just because somebody's 5'8" don't mean they're all the same shape and size. As
I
J,
agree,
J,
Calvin. I've told
J,
people that same thing, Calvin. You were right.
Jalen Hurts
Uh
is
huh.
built more like a running back.
Okay, but they're still smaller quarterbacks, and
He's not a smaller,
and
he's a shorter.
it,
Shorter does not make you smaller.
I agree with
okay.
that one too, Calvin. I
That,
told people that too.
Murray is a smaller quarterback than Hurts with a better arm.
yeah, I didn't say
Okay.
they were the same quarterbacks.
But you
I'm
keep
saying,
saying they're similar. I'm not worried about the kid's size,
yep,
but
that's my point.
and then actually the Hurts is more athletic. Is more athletic gifted when he has the ball in his hand. He's headed downhill.
I get that, but
Murray,
my point is, they're the type of quarterbacks that at one point in time, these were the quarterbacks that you would have said, we're going to try to figure out if you could play in the slot. And with the game has shifted over the years, these type of quarterbacks that can give you the passing and rushing yards and may not be the biggest of quarterbacks. It's not the Dan McGuire, John Elway type size
Dan
quarterbacks.
McGuire, go ahead.
The standard, 6'5", 6'6" pocket quarterback. There's a chance because the draft boards are saying that Bryce
we're
will
gonna
be
have this out
selected by
again,
the.
Tyrone.
He's gonna be a Seahawk
Jalen
next year.
Hurts is not going in no damn slot.
No, I'm saying,
That's
but
why.
that's the type of scenario
I
that
mean, I get what you say. Basically, what
like
you're saying, you're doing what they've done for decades. He's a black guy. He's got to be fast, so then he should be able to catch a ball. So we're gonna move him quarterback slot. He's
no.
not.
Doug Flutie is an example. Like
They didn't move.
he
They
didn't
didn't
fit
move.
the he didn't
Yeah,
fit
they
the
didn't move him to
prototype.
slot either. No, they didn't move him to slot. They shipped his ass to damn Canada. But as I'm saying,
See, we're saying the same thing.
actually, if Doug Flutie was in the league, he would be. If he was around today, he would be. Elman. Name another one that
He'll be starting.
he'll be Element. He'll be Element. He'll be Edelman or what's the other kid they had before Edelman?
You talking about Wes Welker?
Yeah,
Ella
Walker
Ella
Edelman.
Elamine or whatever his name was. Randall L. Excuse me, Randall L. You
Yeah.
Antonio
know
Randall L.
those type of guys, man, they're making it in the league because of the way the game has changed. I mean, you look at the high school game. The high school game is playing like we play, like I play in the backyard, and then like the college game is, and now all you see is the same thing from college to pro, the same type of offenses. So that gives opportunity for a
Whoa,
lot of
whoa,
guys
whoa,
now.
whoa, 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 whoa. You don't see the same offense in college and pro. They have more. They spread a little bit more in the pro, and they
Yep.
had to literally change the rules to make the spread offenses work in the pro. Because, and you think
Exactly.
about it, you had 1 year where y'all said where they said we're gonna run a full spread quarter, 1 2 year run where they actually said full spread with all the trimmings, quarterback draws, and all this other stuff. You know what ended up happening is them quarterbacks, and none of those quarterbacks that ran those offenses ended up still in the league.
I don't know.
Cam is gone. Mr. Nealon is gone. Um, Baylor, Washington guy, he's gone
Oh,
now.
you're talking about
Oh,
Griffin.
RG.
Griffin is gone.
Doing a great
So
job on TV as an analyst.
yeah, I mean, fine, but so, and at the end of the day,
Fine.
at the end of the day, you got to have the league. People seem to think that the league is it's what has happened is yes, you got to be able to move a little bit, but if your quarterback is doing all the movement, there's going to be a problem. He's not going to make it. He cannot maintain that.
Well, oh yeah. Well, you can't take a lot of
So
hits. You know what I'm saying? But the
if you get
RPOs are out there.
well,
if you get
well,
the moving,
I can tell
now
you
you take
the
hits.
I can tell you the thing that you really, if we go talk about pros real quick, what you want as a quarterback and you try to win a championship. Um, as of right now, if your quarterback looks like us, it's a good chance you ain't winning the championship because there's only been three: Doug Williams, Russell Wilson, and Pat Mahomes.
So, but you so yeah. I mean,
Everybody else don't look like us that won Super Bowls.
well, there's only been two that look. One looked like us, Doug Williams. The other one looked more like Orreaion. They light skinned.
Well,
All
well,
right.
yes,
So
okay, there you go. I mean,
I
if we
hope.
go start going these quarterback traits, I mean, that seems like that's trait means more
No,
than
you know what?
all of these other
Well, see, I,
traits.
I, I will. Well, since you know what you know as well as I know, the difference is these kids now we can't compare to us because these kids now are coming up in the Doug Williams, the all those legend Randall Cunninghams, all these they're retired now. Some of them took in the coaching places. Some of them are high school coaches. Some of the quarterbacks in college are actual coaches. And they have children. What you find out is most successful pro quarterback have been groomed since they were a kid. Name name the top quarterbacks of our generation.
Hey man.
Or
Who's his daddy?
that's easy, Archie. And there we go. Look at this kid, this or the nephew that's now at Texas
Well,
or
look at
will be at
Eli.
Texas. Yep.
They're the same daddy. They've been groomed. Basically, what it boiled down is they've been groomed. They've been raised by either coaches or they've been growing up around that position their whole life. Right?
Well, we get. Well, you know what else too, Coy? And man, we got to stay back on track. But I'm gonna just. And we'll. Matter of fact, we'll make a new segment. We'll add this to one of our future episodes about the quarterback position. But go back to the Pee Wee days too. Athletic type quarterbacks tend to be allowed to play that style of football when they get behind center. If you
But
get what I'm
I
saying.
also I got you. But I also will
And that's
say
how they
when
brought
you
up to play it. Then when you get to
but also
the pros didn't play that style. So now that you got to fit a square inside a circle, and that didn't work. You know what I'm saying? And
I also
meanwhile,
say
okay, go ahead.
I also say it's got a more to do with what you know about what you find out about really good quarterbacks is they've been a quarterback since they're a kid because they're a coach's kid. And they've been raised and they've learned the game
Yeah,
from a mental standpoint as much as the athletic part. I
yeah,
guess, but then what you have is you have a column. You have not a column. You have your Mahomes, which is all of it. He grew up and from ground up they built that kid into what he is.
yep. And his dad
And
was
I'm
New York, and his dad was a New York Met, by the way. So that's
Was
awesome.
yes,
he?
and
I
Yeah,
know he was
yeah,
a
we know.
twin. I didn't know he was a Met. I knew he was a twin.
yeah. He was a twin too, but Met too. So I'm gonna take the Mets part of that. But we got to move to the next question. Zach,
I'm ready to hear him make some
give us your first impressions of your UGA Bulldogs.
It's what I expected. Like
more. This is
all these
more
people.
impressive.
Uh,
This game
uh,
was more impressive than the
uh,
Alabama game.
I, it's what I expected. All these people made this big deal about Georgia losing all these players, but they replaced them with Georgia players, and they were acting like everybody else has all their players coming back. So no big deal. What I will say, and I wish Orreaion was here, and we had talked about this, and Calvin was talking about 5 stars, and like these guys, kind of like they do in baseball,
Oh,
they're
hold on,
getting
hold on, hold
rated
on,
for
hold
a
on, hold on.
reason.
We got. Can I pause and give a shout out to
Oh, go ahead.
Brinson? Can I
Yes.
get a shout out to because his puppy was there? You know,
Okay.
when his pup played for Oregon.
Who is that?
Oh, Brinson's son played for Oregon. He's a DN. He's
Oh,
a
that's right.
Okay.
sophomore.
Brinson Butler's son. Yep.
Oh well, good. Hey, congratulations, Brinson. I
And
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 hope that
actually
young
watch.
man plays well.
He does play well. He's
Yep.
actually going
Okay.
to be pretty decent. But guess what? What his dad is, a coach. Too bad the boy is not a quarterback, but you can tell that boy is a lot more sound than other kids. But anyway, go ahead, continue.
No, I was just gonna go as we say 5 star. Malachi Starks. I had he's a safety. I talked to Ori. I said, I hope somewhere along in the season this young man can go along. I'm sure we don't have the video. I'll have to get on the producers about that next time or get that information to him. But he got an interception in the first quarter. First, what I detest about DBs now, they're run with the damn receiver. Look at them, and they don't turn and try to locate the ball at all. And maybe that's a new technique they teach. But Malachi, from the safety position against the slot, middle of the field or middle of the field going toward the sideline, did a
You know what
speed
that's about?
turn.
You know what that's about, Jack?
What's that?
Why they do that now? Because of
No
that. Because
idea.
of, because of that stop fade.
Back shoulder
That back
pass,
shoulder. That stop. Yeah, the back shoulder fade. That's why they run. That's why they face guard more.
and it to me it seems they get exposed all the time. But he did a speed turn, still kept his hand on the wide receiver, located the ball, made an interception. Uh, Great job, and that's just an example of the talent that Georgia's brought in. So all these people that said that Ohio State is clearly better, to me, only one team can beat Georgia. And we'll see if that team can actually beat Georgia if Georgia and them play. Outside of that, Georgia's going to win. Georgia won't lose any game. Like, they don't have a chance to lose any game on their schedule. And I know that's good. People going to say, well, of course
No,
there's a chance. But when I say don't have a chance, I mean that you have
he'll,
a 50-50 game. Like, as
yeah,
long as it's normal, the only
they're gonna
team that
win
they're
it.
going to be 50-50 against, to me, well, we know who that team is, but we ain't going to talk about that team right now in this sense. But that's the only team that's going to be 50-50 against. Or if you want to go 60-40 or something.
Yeah,
Let
Outside of
me.
that,
I'm a.
they're better than everybody. They have done a great job amassing talent. Like
yeah.
it's I'm as much as I
I
don't
can
like
tell
Kirby
you.
Smart, as much as I was against him getting hired, shit, the man has done he got talent. Like and I was watching this game with a friend yesterday, and I gotta be I said not try try to be funny. I hope no one takes it wrong, but I said even our white boys are athletes. Like like
Oh
you got
wow.
Lad McConkey, and you got tight end Brock Bowers, and they out there making folks miss, making like we got athletes everywhere.
Well, gentlemen, if I may,
Yes, sir.
this is the part of college football. I guess what I talk about, I'll save it for the next segment. How about that?
Okay.
So, but both teams have had in week one, they're pretty much on track. To have that collision course in the SEC championship game, and then collide again in the college football playoff. And I'm pretty sure, I'm certain that the champion for this season will either be Zach's team or Corey's team. I mean that's pretty
Depending
much
on
what it's
how
coming down to.
Well,
depending
with
on how
Georgia,
injuries go.
I'm gonna say it like this. Realistically, after yesterday, Unless we'll find out later. If Oregon proves to be better than what they showed us yesterday, then we'll know that Georgia's legit. But after that, Georgia, we know they're gonna play weird against South Carolina. That's just what Georgia do.
Oh,
But realistically, you won't know anything about the Georgia team. Maybe when they play Auburn on October the 8th,
Maybe.
because everything maybe because really realistically, they should literally impose their will on every team they play up until maybe Auburn, and that's the thought that Auburn's going to be Auburn, even though Auburn may not be having a good year or a good team. Auburn will Auburn's usually not lacking the talent or the ability to show up.
Yes, sir.
well, I disagree with that, Cal, because you'll find out a lot about like if Georgia's beating teams by 20, 30 points to a degree, kind of like they were doing last year. That tells you about a team too. Like I'm looking at. I know I'm jumping ahead, but when I expect Alabama to win at Texas next week. It's just a matter of how good they look when they
Mm.
beat Texas.
Well, Alabama, we won't know anything about Alabama till they play. Dang it,
If
this
y'all
stretch.
going, if y'all going to beat Texas by 40, I'm gonna know something about Alabama. I'm gonna know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna know. Oh, Snikes.
Yep.
No, you're gonna know that Texas is dysfunctional as hell. The worst thing Texas did in the last 5 to 10 years was let start Charlie Strong go because he would have done with that program what they wanted that program to be. But they have to be how they want to be. I'm just gonna be honest.
All right. Okay, guys, we got to get to the last segment for today. We got about 12 minutes to handle it. So we talked about your favorite team, Corey, and Zach's favorite team,
Oh,
but there was other games too played yesterday. So what was your thoughts on the games from yesterday, fellas? And I'm just gonna throw it out there. Whoever want to start?
the SEC had a good day. Florida uh, has caught my attention. I thought they had a chance to beat Utah, and it's a home game, but they found a way to beat Utah. And I'd say
Mhm.
Florida probably doesn't have the talent that they expect to have 2-3 years down the road. So that's a good win by Billy Napier, who is from that Alabama staff. I didn't, and ESPN did a thing. I didn't know this, Calvin, that the 2015 had. Man, people gonna think I'm an Alabama fan as much as I talk about them, but that was a hell of a staff that they had with Kirby, and then Lane Kiffin as the
Mhm.
coordinators, Mel Tucker, your DB coach.
Mhm.
I forget what Billy Napier was or whatever, but Mario Cristobal. That's a
Mhm.
lot of damn head coaches to come off of one
That's what
damn
makes. I mean,
team.
honestly, that's also what makes what Saban does so good because most of the
He
time
recruits good
that's
coaches.
I,
well when you start
Absolutely,
losing
hell
you start
yeah,
losing when you start
hell
losing
yeah.
your long term deep well we don't even go OCs because he changed OCs every 2 years because all of them get they figure if they can play offense at Alabama we can make him a head coach. But when you start losing your key coordinators on a regular basis, it starts to fall apart. The fall of Bobby was his he lost his OC Rick,
All right.
Yep.
Well,
and
yeah.
then
And,
Mickey,
But
and then him and Mickey got old together.
and if you
but
tune in, guys, hit that like, subscribe, notification button. The calculator on Wednesday predicted that Florida
cover.
would win that game outright.
Okay. I,
Yeah.
I was hoping. I thought they had a chance, but that was a good one. And USC, they played. I want to say Rice. And they put up 66 points. So you can't get like you don't want to get too excited about that or overhype it or anything. But that's what Lincoln Riley does. So for him to be able to hit the ground running there with his offense, that's a eyebrow raise because right now, Pac-12 had a bad day. Oregon lost, which no shame in Oregon losing, though I'm sure they expected to be more competitive. Then
Yeah.
Florida beats Utah, which is supposed to be your top team. That's probably a big blow. USC is probably carrying the flag for them for the CFP, and quarterback looked good. Receiver from Pittsburgh, Addison. Uh, caught a couple touchdowns. So they're getting their money's worth at least as of day one with him. And those would be the two big things. If you want to go, I'll save the Ohio State things, but those. Oh, North Carolina. You and I talked the other
Yep.
day about North Carolina. Were they real? When they had the game with fam. I think North Carolina has problems. They gave up 60 some points. Like North Carolina, they got some things to fix.
Exactly. Carolina, like we talked about, and I remember why I watched at least 3 quarters of that game against the FAMU game, and we already know FAMU was undermanned
Yeah.
massively, and they were losing players throughout the game,
Yes.
but FAMU was moving the ball up and down on North Carolina, and it was only a one touchdown game up to the last play of the halftime,
Yeah.
and Carolina scored on a 4th and 1 to take it into the half to go up 2 touchdowns. So just imagine, and then you turn around this week and giving up 60, whatever number it was, all those points. Like they are in trouble. And
Yeah.
with NC State in that conference and Clemson, it's going to be tough for them to get out of there. But yeah, Carolina was another. That was one of the ones I was going to bring up. But I'm glad you did. Any quick thoughts on the Ohio State Notre Dame game?
I hate both.
Ohio
Oh, it's a,
State. I would say
I'm sorry.
Ohio State is a name school. Like I don't. Well, I don't want to just make it out there a name school because they're a team
They are
that can
they
compete.
are a perennial
But
top five program.
Yeah,
but they
They are.
get a little bit too much. Like looking at them yesterday, at least they may end up being a good team.
yeah.
But this offense was supposed to be like the second coming and all this other stuff. They struggle. Like Notre Dame ain't got a lot of talent right now. Like Notre Dame, I don't think is a world beater, and they struggle. Uh, what the hell is his Al Golden? This guy, I, y'all gonna have to. I know you go get, but as I said, person I was watching the game with, I would. I said if I was Marcus Freeman, I would have went up to Al Golden after the game and said, "Are you fucking my wife? Because you try and get me fired."
Damn.
Because he
Damn.
ran. It's a 10-7 ball game early in the fourth quarter. They're in the damn red zone. He runs like this is where you need all 22. I think it was a double safety blitz or something. And they're 12 yards back. They take like a couple steps forward. They didn't even get in there to affect the play at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, wait, I saw it come. I was like, no, he's not going to do that. Middle of the field open, throws a touchdown. It was an easy catch and throw. And Ohio State had been struggling.
All
I
right.
don't know why he ran that. So I say all that to say that Ohio State was in trouble until like that kind of broke the dam for them, but they were struggling.
Yeah.
And I don't see how, even if they were to beat Georgia, because it looks like they're going to get the short end of the stick, meaning they'd be the 2 seed, worst case. So you got to play Georgia and then possibly play Alabama or reverse it, play Alabama and then Georgia. I don't see how they beat both.
All right. Well, quick thoughts, real quick, guys. Got about 3 minutes.
Okay.
Just a quick thoughts on these 2 games here: Florida State, LSU, Clemson, Georgia Tech.
We're gonna find out. That's the biggest thing. We don't know. We really won't know nothing about that.
If
we know
Brian
we know
Kelly, look,
LSU. We know LSU is gonna show up with a ton of talent.
Yeah.
But we're gonna see. We're gonna see. But like you said, go ahead.
Brian Kelly wants to start like Brian Kelly don't want to start off with a loss at home or in
No, he don't.
Louisiana.
No, he don't. And he's trying to loosen up and become a Louisiana guy because
Yeah.
he's stiff. He's stiff. I've seen his later press conference. He's a little more loose than he used to be. Come in there like he's at the Naval or the Army West Point talking to these people down in South Louisiana. Ain't gonna work. I think he's gonna figure that out.
And I expect Clemson. I expect them to win at least by 2 scores. Like there should be, they should be able to handle Georgia Tech. They shouldn't have much
That's
to
going to
worry
be the
about.
bell cow. Is Clemson back or they're not?
Mm,
We'll see.
okay.
Because that's the game for Clemson. That's actually, to me, that's one of the pivotal games of this weekend. We're going to see if It's not so much about Georgia Tech. It's all about Clemson. Georgia Tech's on. Georgia Tech always plays a game. They're going to become to play. They shouldn't win, and if Clemson can put Georgia Tech away handily early, or show they just dominate that game, get out, get there, get foot to get. I say you say two, I say three touchdown lead, and actually just handle Georgia Tech. Fine, okay, we can expect some from Clemson. I
All
tell you, a
right.
game. Did anybody watch the Thursday night game?
Which one?
Oklahoma State and North. Was one of the directional Michigan schools.
I did not.
A little bit of it.
Did you know
What is it?
what I
Sanders or something is the QB or something? I
yeah,
think that's
well,
his
what I
name.
noticed was, you know what, OSU don't have any depth.
Well,
So when you
okay.
so put this data on your calendar. 'Cause I was looking to see when they play Baylor. They're gonna play Baylor October the 1st.
Okay.
I expect Baylor is gonna put something on them, and then Baylor will be the one that rivals your boys at Oak State. I mean Oklahoma for that conference, and we're gonna find that Oklahoma State is a couple of years away, and they're still a pretender, which I thought they were last year. But everybody's like Oklahoma, get the hell out of
All right, gentlemen. Great work. We'll
All
be back
right.
in a few minutes because
All right.
we're coming back in a few minutes with part two. So everybody, we thank you all for watching and listening. Uh, give yourself about a 5 to 6 minute break and come back. Go back to YouTube. Pick us up for the second part of today's show as we're going to talk about the FAMU Jackson State matchup, and we're going to cover some other things. The producer wrote out a great uh, episode for today, so we really appreciate that.
here.
And don't forget, do the following: hit like, subscribe, and the notification button. It does nothing but help us.
All right.
Mm.
The production team is doing a great job. Lord Jesus, it's all
All
these
right.
nice bells and whistles.
You know what though? I'm gonna have to get the links for YouTube and all the other places so I can put them out.
We got you. We
Now I
got
can
you,
I
Corey.
okay, because I
Hey, they
can
got to
actually.
listen to you, man.
I don't care about nobody listening to me. I care about you brothers.
I
I got.
appreciate it.
But I'm
Hey,
just
man.
saying.
I
I might
like
be
Appreciate the
able
listening
to
to
get.
you.
love.
I might be able to get you a little bit noise in your chat just from. Now it
Uh-oh.
might be from
Bring
my
them on.
community, or
All right.
they're gonna be from my gun community, but they'll be fine.
Hey,
All right. Look,
all
his
right.
gun community. That's what I'm talking about.
That's
Guns.
right. All right. Well, for Corey and Zach, I'm Mr. 411. We'll see you guys in about, let me do my math, 9 minutes.
All
So
right.
have a good
Peace.
one.
Bye.